sense? Yeah, I see it there.
Okay, now.
Testing 1, 2.
Okay.
Good. Okay. Go ahead and check in. There it is. And then YouTube's in already. Good. Okay. Okay. Good on sound? Who got checked in there? CHAAZAQ? Good. Good. Shalom, Israel. We're the Isupk, start off 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, where we teach blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians, or the 12 tribes of Israel. Under Commander General Yohana, we started off in 1969. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Officer CHAAZAQ SHAPAR, teaching Lashawan Qadash class in South Carolina, and we're going to go over some different things in class, some sounds. We're going to kind of recap, kind of go back in a little bit because we have people in class. We want to go over some things to teach all students. We have the Lashawan Qadash chart here. You know, we teach ancient Hebrew and the Assyrian Hebrew. The ancient Hebrew is oldest, language in the world. We're gonna show you those sounds, man, because a lot of people, they use their sounds and understanding. Like even the English language, and all these different. Everything came. If you notice, everything came from the Hebrew language. As people just don't want to admit it. But when we say Abba Gada Hawazaka, Tayakala Manasa Ipa Taza Kwarashata, those sounds in ancient Hebrew as well as Assyrian Hebrew, when we were in captivity, they kept the same symbols, and the sound, it sounded just alike. I mean, I said it had a different symbols. Lucky, we're going to show you that tonight. But they had a different symbol from the original ancient Hebrew, but their sounds were the same. And then you get there and the fake Hebrews over there speaking Jewish Yiddish. They're not the real Hebrews, so they'll take the ancient Hebrew and make some sort of mess out of it. It's not the real Hebrew. But here, the Isupk in 1969 start to teach our people what we have known thousands of years ago in the Bible. What the Most High has wanted for us to learn our Hebrew language, man. We are the 12 tribes of Israel. We're Israelites, but we speak Hebrew. And that's what we're getting back to learn our Hebrew class and our Hebrew origins in our Hebrew class here. So we're going to, you read Hebrew always. You always read Hebrew from right to left, never left to right. It's always from right to left. That's why we have this chart here, all the way across. It starts with Ah, and we'll even talk about who we have in the chat tonight. We have young man Quan in class working his months, putting his bricks in, putting the month in, man. And that's what I'm saying. Officer Shar has put in a chat in there where you want to go in and get your name, fill that form out and get your name. And that's what some of these young men are going to get their troopership in here in a while, as soon as they work hard and come to class and do what they got to do, okay? So that's where we're at. We have young man Quan with us tonight, and he's going to illustrate some things on the board for us. Who all we have in class? CHAAZAQ.
Young man, Quan The other young man, Quan.
Okay, got you. Right, got you. So we got a few people. And I know this is Friday night, people checking in class. It's raining some places, man. And people drinking their yayan, their wine. The yam, the water. You know, they're drinking it all until to its glory, you know, to its strength. You know, so that's what we're doing. We'll sit down. We'll go over some things here. Let's see here. We'll go over the chart, the Hebrew chart, and we're going to discover what sounds are and why they exist. Because a lot of people, you know, all these sounds, and I'm not going to get tonight into what they mean. But there are meanings for each one of those, for a lot of those, most of those symbols here, if not all. There are meanings for them in the ancient Hebrew, and of course that carries over to the Assyrian Hebrew. And but they just didn't form a picture for a reason. They mean something. I mean, you know, when we say ah, ba, and a da, for instance, the letter da, right there. We'll go over this one here real quick here. That's a da. That's the fourth letter in the Hebrew, in the ancient Hebrew, right? And of course that's where we get when we start off getting Dawada. You know, that name Dawada. You know, my first Hebrew teacher was Officer Dawada, and that would start his name right there. So that means, anybody know what Dawada in the chat means there? A young man or anybody, it's locked to the men over me. Anybody know what Dawada means? Anybody? Dawada, you know, because, you know, anybody in the chat, young man, you know, you recognize what Dawada means?
King David.
David, that's exactly right. That's a young man said it means David, and he's right. We'll clap it up for class right there. Exactly right. That's right, David. And you know, David was our king, man. You know, Israel wanted a king, and there you go, Dawada. And that's what he used. Of course, he spelled it like. And the Magan Dawada, the shield of David. That's the Magan Dawada, which Magans means shield. So it's the shield of David, Dawada. And it spells out, you know how that's spelled? You know how to spell that out in Hebrew?
Okay.
Spell that out in Hebrew for me. Use your chart, Dawada. Dawada. Spell it in Hebrew. Put it about right there. Start from right to left and come this way. And take your time there. Dawada. Appreciate young man Quan coming to class, participating. And of course, you know we give the da. You know what the da is, right? Yeah. Go ahead and take your time. Da. And what else you hear? Wa. There you go. Yeah, real neat too. Clap it up for the young man. Right. Now step there. So Dawada, and that's the Magan Dawada, the shield of David. That's where he used his signet, man, and he used his signet was how he did important transactions, man. The king had a signet, and that was that signet. That's what that means. It's not a star. A lot of people talking about the Star of David. That's not a star, man. A star is something like a 5-pointed figure or whatever. You know, that's a whole nother class of understanding stars, man. But the Most High said we're not even supposed to be worried about looking up at stars. But the young man put up here proper. Now, what else we need up there? We need the what? To make that, if those are sounds, we need the connectors, right? The independent connectors, right? So if you were to take your time, how would you break that down? Da, wa, da. What connectors would you use? What does it sound like to you? Okay, that's that. There you go. Make it thick. People can see it. Da, wa. That's exactly right too. They just happen to do it. And that, you know why you did it that way? Because that's what you hear. So go ahead and write that out. Now you'll write it from left to right because you know we speak English, right? Just spell it just like you just did. Da, wa, and he's very neat in his writing too, man. It's kind of remind me of me when I was writing. Off the dot, I used to say, man, you're pretty neat in your writing, and that's good, you know. So da, wa, da. So that's how you spell it. And he was mindful. I get the what's that top there? I get that one? Right. Yeah, go ahead and put it on there so it won't drop. But see, he's mindful. Now I didn't tell him what his connectors are, but I'm gonna let him explain this to me up here. He just did that on his own. So tell me how you came up with the connectors, and tell him what connectors are. Young man, Quan.
Connectors.
Speak out loud and clear.
Independent connectors.
Right.
Basically, like if it like something in with a like an S, like how S is plural, like it'll connect like with a Syrian.
Well, now we want to stay with the ancient. We want to get it to the Syrian because Syria don't have connectors, right?
Yeah.
So let's stay with just you were right on track. So those are independent. So what does independent mean?
Independent is it don't connect.
Don't connect to anything else.
It don't connect to anything.
So independent is on its own. Okay. And so that's what you did. You point to that da up there. The first da, underline that da. That's what that is, right? Okay. Right. Da. Okay. And that first one he put up there, he did that his own from looking at class. So that's how I know this young man, he working that trooper level up there. And that's what you have to understand when you get in class, to understand Hebrew, man. That's an important part of who we are in the Isupk, understanding Hebrew. So the first thing he did was put an independent connector up there on the da. Because that's what he hear. He don't hit da wa. It don't say da wa da, does it? It says da, go ahead, separate. And we interpret the separate as being independent. Okay. And that's what, by the way, that's what the Most High wants us to be, separate, independent from all these other nations, right? Okay. And so that's independent, man. You know, he don't want us, the only time we want to join anything together when we join in our connectors. You know, I'm being facetious, but you know what I'm saying. That's the only thing we want to do. So da, and then what about the wa? And then what's that next symbol there? What you got?
Y.
Go ahead, underline it, right. And what sound, underline, make sure you underline everything about that wa. Yeah, there you go. And so why did you underline that? Because the wa has a symbol of what?
It's like again.
Right. It's like wa. Go ahead.
Twice. That's,
well, you said da. I'm sorry, da, right?
Okay.
Where we at? This da is over there because it's backwards. Okay. Let's lock it there for a second. But da, and then you had wa. Now you spelled it because that's what you hear. That's David. So it's da wa da. How come you didn't put da wa? Because that ain't what you said. That ain't what the teacher would have been. Because one day when a person you trying to teach somebody or whatever, and then you want to say da wa da. You don't want to say da wa da. You don't want to say da wada. You don't say da wada. Give me that da wada. What country you coming from, man? Da wada. Sound like you want to say da wada. Give me the water. And see, that's why you have to be careful at how you make sounds. And that's what this is all about. And that's what the connectors is for, right? Okay. Those connectors. So tell me about so you made the wa by sound by itself, right? Okay. So da, wa, and then of course the last one is, that's da. So those all are independent connectors, right? Okay. Go ahead. Now that's how you put the young man. What about, let me ask you before I go, can you write that in ancient Hebrew? I'm sorry, not ancient Hebrew, but Assyrian Hebrew? Of course, the chart's right there.
Look at that chart.
Yeah, look at the chart, I don't care. Yeah, it doesn't matter, that's how you learn. You're gonna learn to write it. Yeah, go ahead, take your time. You wanna write it another color, or you good? Let me see. I give you another color up here. I'll give you another color up here. I'll let the young man's doing a fantastic job up here. We're waiting for other people, as we waiting for other people to check in the class. I know we have what, the other, what, Dequan, let's see. Who we have in class here? Huh? Yeah, we have CHAAZAQ, another trooper, young man Quan, another young man coming up, trying to get his name, and you keep hanging in there, bro. And then we have Marcus. He sometimes, well, he normally checks in class, so we're waiting for him to check in here. There, you're right. You wanna erase that and make it look. It's kind of crooked, ain't it? All right, just erase it. I tell you what, get you a little eraser over there, and then that way you'll make it. You know what I'm saying? There you go. We'll use that as our eraser, right? That's our eraser, man, and make it look a little bit more. Make it a little bigger. It's kind of leaning there. Look at it real good and see what you think. Okay? Straight. Now, yeah, you want to make it straight across. What you got, let me show you what you got. It's important. You wouldn't think it's important, but people see that. They want to be able to see something like this. Like that, and like that. Straight up, straight down. Because that's more like what the chart says, right? Now, what about the dot for the what is that? The Syrian? Now, look at that dot real close. Let me see your top. Look at that dot. You hold on to it. Look at that dot over there on the chart. What do you notice about that? And look at the ka down there in the see the ka and the ending connectors, ending characters. They look the same, but look real close at the dot. Tell me what you see. There you go. It's got a little stem on the top, right? There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Of course, you know, that's good. That's what I wanted you to notice right there. Now, what you had was a ka. You see the difference? And who's checking in the class here? Let's see. Let's see who's checking in. What you had.
Young man Quan said, "Kind, Most High Christ."
Young man Quan, yeah, he understands that, right? He understands. Good. Y'all go ahead and like and share the class, man. Put those likes in there, and go ahead and share this class out. You know, so other people just share it. So other people, I like to share it to different groups, and that way you get other people can have some understanding. Okay, good. Okay, what was I doing now? Live chat. Okay, yeah. Okay. Now, what I like to do, I'm holding you up to the board, I know. Let me show you the way I like to do. That dot, point to that dot there, yeah, we don't worry about it. Yeah, there you go. Looks like some sort of, like this, and then, right, because it's got a little stem, but the ka is straight just like you had it, and down with no stem. Big difference. And of course you have, you know, like that. Then you have, and then normally you can just come right here, really. Just as long as you put a stem on it, it ain't got to be too long either. Sorry.
Basically, just the wires just shorter.
Say that again. Oh yeah. You always have the wa. Wait a minute. No, that's a ya. Let me see. Go to the wa. No. That's not a wa. Okay, that's what I thought. That's a ya. I was looking at that wrong. Erase that one. Erase that one. And put a wa. The wa is going to look like this. Just a long stem with just a little bit of stem up to the top. You follow me? There we go. but you gotta make it all the way, okay, look at it, you gotta make it the same length though. See how that same length? That would be right, but you just gotta make it, you gotta make it, gotta start from, it gotta stop there and end there. That's what you want on that chart. Yes, perfect. That's perfect right there. That's what you wanna do every time when you see a Y. And so you gotta pay close attention. And so after a while, you'll begin to understand the sounds. That's what we're after. That's what we're trying to learn here. After a while, after you put these sounds down, I mean, I'm doing a class right here because I want people to understand what these look like. Sometimes I have to go all the way back because you have different young men and young women that's looking at class right now. They want to see, well, how'd you come up with this? And they're wondering. And I'm so lucky that we had a Yah there. You see it, right? Yeah, but you got to understand, the Yah is the sort of like the shortest stemmed, like right there. That's an Assyrian. Of course, we're doing Assyrian here. But you see the difference, right? So what's the difference? And that is an interconnected card. We don't want to get confused with the Da. And I did a class on confusion of, not confusion, but how to recognize these sounds, these pictures. Because after all, the chart is nothing but a bunch of pictures. And those pictures are denoting sounds. That's all it is. When I see this, I see a sound. That's why you got to be consistent. Like, that's like perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect. And that's what you got right there. You see? But that's just happening this here, right? Okay, so let's clap it up, right? All right, bring your chair up there so we can, you can see when you have a comment, we'll just check it out right there, right? Okay. Yeah, go ahead and rest yourself, and then we'll erase this off the board here. We'll move on to some more sounds here. Just you guys learn and understand the sound. We're just gonna go over these letters. I was talking to one of the generals. He said, sometime I have classes. What I want you to do is have classes that just go, you can erase that, the Magan Dawada, that you can just understand and go over the Hebrew alphabet, because people, we call it the alphabet, but really it's the Hebrew characters. That characters is a picture. So you understand, right? Okay. All right, and we're gonna do something here. We're gonna go right here. That's an ah, right? And I want the young man, I want him to explain to me, or first of all, write down what he sees and how to write that, and tell me what that is. Because the more and more you do things in your mind, you'll begin to understand. Because if I tell you, you're going to get it to the point of, what you mean. But when you explain it yourself, then you begin to understand what these characters look like. Okay? So that's the ah, right? The ah, what I would say, tell me everything you know about that ah. What's the first thing you would think?
Remind me of?
Yeah.
When I see I see the sideways A.
The sideways A. Yeah, very good. Clap it up for him. When I first saw it, I saw a sideways A or artist's eyeball or eye. You know what I'm saying?
That's the sign.
Right. A sideways A. Right. Right. Okay. Yeah, a sideways A, and it's happened to be the first what?
First character.
The first character. That's what I want you to see. The first character. And you say, and I mean, you ain't got to go around and say, oh, that's the second character, fifth character. But the fact that you know it's the first character, be able to say something about it. All right, write that in Assyrian. Show me how you would write that in Assyrian. Write it down right below it. That's important. Let me see if I can get this adjusted here. There we go. Yeah. All right. Good. Now he writes it. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna write my version of it. Right. What I like to write a straight line, right? And then I'm gonna write like this. What you see different in it?
Small curve.
Okay. Or you can do like this. You can say, right? What do you think? I mean, it's just what I get used to writing. I mean, it's not saying which is right or wrong. I'm just trying to be neat. Like when I do this, when I write the ah like this, I see it like this, and then I go over here and I say here, then I put a stem on it. I'm just trying to write it just like I see it, right? Then I put a curve, then I bring it back. You do that one on the ah. And I'm hoping that everybody's patient with us because that's what the young man is learning, how to write it. Write the symbols. There you go. There you go. Perfect. And just keep in mind that you want to keep everything on a straight line. Like, imagine that you have a straight line across. You want everything touching that line. You follow me? That's all. And it's just not right or wrong. It's just, you want that's the idea of the Bible says, be ye therefore perfect, even as my Father in heaven is perfect, right? Okay. And that's what we're doing. There you go. There. And see that's perfect. Now that's a nice one. I like that I like that. And see, as nice as we can write it, and if you look down at the handwriting, you'll notice that even in handwriting, it sort of looks like that, right? Okay. And that's what we want. That's what we're trying to do. All right, go to the next one there. We're understanding sounds, and what's that sounds making ah. And by the way, what is that? Is that a vowel? It's a vowel, right? Okay. The ah just happened to be the first vowel. How many vowels are there in the? There's two, right? Okay. Well, matter of fact, erase that, and then I want you to write the other vowel down. Write it in English first. There you go. English first, that's just the I, just like that. There we go. All right. Very good. Now go ahead. What does it look like in ancient Hebrew? Go ahead, look at the chart. That's what I want you to. Because see, when you do these on your own, you're gonna remember, man. You're gonna be waking up like, oh, that's the I, yeah. You know. You're making the I. Oh, now that's good. No, that's for Assyrian. That's fine. No, leave it there. That's fine. For Assyrian, or what about the ancient? There you go. Let's see what you got for Assyrian. You got you want to make it go down a little further, right? On the stem, right? Wiggly. Hey, there you go. There you go. Not so long right there, right? That'll work. But people recognize that. They recognize that those are eyes, right? And see people. The more perfect you get to be at that, the better off you are, right? Okay, that's about. Go ahead and erase that then. All right, we're gonna do a word right here, right? And I want you to you feel up to it. You feel up to it? Okay. All right, good. I want you to write down the word for me. Let's do it. Let's just make it easy. We're gonna use one with the vowel, a vowel sound. Zarai. Z-A-R-I. There we go. Z-A-R-I. There we go, Quan. Good, good, okay. Now, in Hebrew, ancient Hebrew, we'll always use the ancient first, right? Because it's the oldest, right? The other chicken scratch, we're lucky to learn that. Okay. Write down. Right, go to further, go back a little bit. There, you started right there. What is that? Yeah, there you go. And then, what do you hear? What do you hear? Okay, now let's look for a second. That za, go ahead. Look at it real close. What do you see up there? Zarai. Exactly. That's what I want to clap up for. So therefore, you ain't got to be putting the A up there because it's already included right there, right? Okay, now what you want? There you go. There you go. And now what else? And in that Ra, you don't need nothing else but just what you see. Za, and then you need an I, right? The what I you need is that. That's it. Now put your connectors in there. Damn right. Clap it up, please. Man of understanding right there. Now the general rule. Now I want you to spell that out in Hebrew. In Hebrew, well, hell, it's spelled out in Hebrew. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we spelled it already. But why do we drop the ah after the R? Say that again. Brother, understand this stuff, man. Because the R and the I are, when you say together, what is that called? What connector is that called? Dependent. Clap it up for that brother right there. That's a dependent connector there, right? And that dependent connector, matter of fact, here I want you to put that dependent connector in blue. And put your top on that one so it won't dry out on that one. Oh yeah, there you go. Put that in blue so we can see independent and dependent connectors. We can see them, man. There we go. Now explain. Yeah, go ahead. There you go. I want you to explain. Zarai means seed, by the way, right? So go ahead and write Zarai, mean a seed. Write it right by. Somebody wrote. Let's see. Explain. Okay, good. Explain what you've done up there. Explain the dependent and independent. Because see, if you can do one or two words in explanation of what you're doing, then you'll be able to do anything, any word. And when we do words, now we can put those words in sentences and start to understand all of the characters, the spelling, the independent and dependent connectors, the ending characters of ancient Hebrew and Assyrian Hebrew, and then we can also understand prepositions and what else? Prepositions and possessive adjective. We'll start to put all that in there. Okay, go ahead. Explain the za.
The za.
Yeah.
Because it's already got the A.
And why does it have an A behind it? Because it has a vowel.
Okay.
So does that mean that every sound we have a vowel in it?
Wow.
Okay. Does it?
Does every sound have a vowel?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them do.
All of them do.
Every sound have a vowel.
Look at the chart. Look at that chart up. Look at that.
You talking about right here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, every sound got a vowel.
Every sound has a vowel, right? So zop. So why isn't there a vowel behind R or the R?
Because he connects to the I.
It could, but again, clap it up for this brother. See, he learned that lesson. Go ahead, good. Because that's a lesson we learned in class, right? Because the R is Ra. Spell that out if you didn't do it that way. If you were to, you know what I'm saying? Spell it out, yeah, up top. Spell it incorrectly. You know what I'm saying? Y'all pay attention to this. You know, young man right here. Right. Now that, you know, it may be somebody's name, you know, Zarai or Zarai. But why did we drop that ah? You said because they are, point to the board. Because anytime you want a dependent connector to work, you gotta follow that rule. You have to drop that A, right? And so put an X through the A. This brother up here, man, I tell you, there you go. So we don't need that. Because the rule is, go ahead, what's the rule? The dependent connector drops the drops the vowel of the second character. Right? You see here in the Isupk, we're learning how to spell our own understanding and our own sounds, man. And that's good. Okay, good. All right, now that's the lesson in using connectors. Now let's do a lesson in using the let's grab another word. I used to use haratazah. Let's just grab another word here. I'll use one. Put up there mayam, which means what? Water, right? Okay. Water. Mayam. Salak. There you go. I think it's Y-A-M, I think it's right. Okay. All right. Now write that in Hebrew. You can write it in blue or whatever color you want, or black. Young man Quan over here, man, getting down with this Hebrew. Look at this. Okay, and that ma represents that M and A, right? Okay. All right, and I'm gonna have you put the connectors in a few minutes. Ma, go ahead. Look at the Yah. You have to look at that chart. Look and see what a Yah looks like. Hell, sometime I forget. My Yah. Now, what I'm going to tell you, just like I tell, and I know you're a young man, but if it was an officer, I'd make that Z-looking thing there the same size as that ma, right? And make it look just like, make it lean. It's going to lean. There you go. Those do lean. There we go. Right, that's perfect. Yeah. All right. Ma ya. And then of course that has an ah to it, but you don't need no A sound, do you? All right, then now go ahead. Right, that means water, right? Now put your connectors on there. What you think? I'm having fun in class, man, because young man Quan's learning here. This is how you really get down and learn the Hebrew. Good. Now, I didn't tell him to do it that way. He did it that way. Why'd you do it that way? You're right. You're 100% right.
Because the mile is independent.
It stands out by itself, right?
Yeah, it's like not plural, but
you want to what? What? Yeah, you tell me. The ma is independent, right? So what's the ya and the m?
they connect together.
And what do you call that?
Independent connect.
No, dependent.
Dependent connect.
Now start over. What is it again?
Independent, dependent.
And okay, and good. And the ya and the ma, what do? They depend on each other to do what?
Make sound.
Stop right there. You did it right. To make a what?
Sound.
Brother got it, man. He say mayam is water, by the way, right?
Okay.
You said, what you say depends, go ahead, you can do right water up there. They depend on each other to make a sound. That's the key word. Don't ever forget that in all your life, right?
Okay.
So when you write a dependent connector, it's self-explanatory, right? It's telling you that, okay, I want to be sounded with something. So go ahead and explain it again. The
Y is independent,
uh-huh.
and the yam is dependent because it has because of YAM. You want to put another A. You want to put another I at the back of it.
Not an I, but a A.
Yeah. A.
You wouldn't put an ah, right? Oh, you said ah, yeah, got a vowel. You wouldn't put a vowel, right?
Okay.
And why wouldn't you put another? Why wouldn't you put another vowel there?
Because it wouldn't spell water. It wouldn't be water.
It wouldn't be right. It'll be my yama. Well, what that is, that right? See what we got up there. Somebody, let me see.
You know what I mean? Quan say, Shalaki, I will be there soon to join class in person.
All right, good. Yeah. Take your time, man. Take your time. That's cool. We like that. All right. Yeah, okay, I got it right here.
Okay.
I got it. Yeah. Did you check in also? When you get time. Yeah, no, when you get time. Okay. So here, you can go ahead and check in. I'll relax yourself and make sure you check in. I'll go ahead and explain because young man Quan here, he said the ma is independent sound, man, and that's what he did right here. He put down ma, just like that. Okay. Then he put down ya. He want this word like in the world, man. We want to use this word like yam, but since we pronounce vowels as ya, so it's yam. Well, it's because we want this to be a dependent connector. We want this ya to keep the full sound, ya, and the ma, yam, mayam. And that's important in sound right here. I'm taking the time to go over this instead of making sentences today because of young man Quan and the other, the CHAAZAQ, and the other young man in class, Daquan. We have two Daquans, Quan and Daquan. CHAAZAQ. The other young man in class. As I say, man, make sure you guys sign in and get your name in class. You get your name after checking in, okay? All right. Okay, we have Mayam, and then he noticed that I say spell Mayam, water. And this is a word that he's used to. I'm gonna put down a word here that he's not used to here in a second and see what he does with that as far as sounding it out. That's important because that's what he did. He sounded the word out, Mayam, and he heard it. I didn't say Mayama. I didn't even say what did I say? Mayam. I didn't even say that. So he put down like my last teachers used to say. Well, what did you hear? What did you hear? Well, I heard ma, and then I heard yam. So your connectors should follow what you hear, right? And of course there are rules to that too. But now if we was writing this in Assyrian, let's see how good you are. See if you were to write that in Assyrian, write it right there. Tell me, and be mindful. Pay attention to every letter on there. What do you see? Right? Yeah, take your time. Write that in Assyrian. We'll get the valuable lesson behind that too. Right? No. It's supposed to be small. That like matter when you look on the chart, it's the smallest letter. They're put at the same height as what the chart says. So you want to put the chart pretty much like that, right? Okay. So what do you see? Mayam. What do you hear? Yah. Now what are you writing in Assyrian, right? Doesn't have any ending connect. That's the first ending characters. That's the first thing you want to do. Does it have any ending connect characters I want to pay attention to? Right? Does it? Okay. Well, make sure you include that. Just draw it the best you can. What does it look like to you? Look at the bottom. Okay, there you go. Yeah. That's perfect, man. That's great. So why did you do that? Yeah. It's an M, right?
Yeah, it's an M.
In the connector?
It's an M connector.
Right.
It's like, close this in.
Right.
I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it.
No, go ahead. No, that's fine. No, all I was saying is all you had to do is because it's an ending character. The ending character, instead of drawing this M here, right? More like look like that, something like that, right? Something like that. Yeah, really, something like that, right? What?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. It could be, you can do like this. Okay, then you wanna do like that, right? Then you wanna do this, then you wanna come over here. Everybody know that's an end. Sort of like that, so I'll buy you one. Nah, that part don't matter either. I mean, I draw them at a point, that point is actually more accurate, so, like this. Okay? It's as long as it looks something like that. I can tell this and this are the same. You know? And like here, and that's fine. I would have drew a straight line at the bottom. That's where we start, not too long, right? Then I would come over here and draw like this. Okay? Then I come over here. Connect. However, I'm just saying, just try to look like the chart. That's all we're trying to do. Not that mine's better or yours is better, or we're just trying to make it look like, I want to be able to say, when I look at that chart, what sound am I looking at and how do I draw it? That's what we're after. Make sense?
Okay.
And the good lesson here is that we did what? We did the sounds of the ending character, and the up there, we made sure we took care of the connectors, right? Okay, yeah, okay, you can erase that off the board, and then we'll go over something else here. These sounds, man, but once you get the lesson of how to spell words, now you can implement them in a sentence. And I mean, I have to go over these classes here. A lot of people needs to understand that. All right? Okay, good. Now you can rest yourself for a second. I'll go over another topic there. Another understanding. Oh man, nice and raining out there. Good. Okay. All right. So when we have okay, so we've gone over some things here. The da, and then of course we have stuff like this. Right? Ooh. I made it real big. Right? And you don't have to have it exactly, just as long as it looks. I mean, it don't have to be perfect, but it's got to be close to it as you can get, right? And then, of course, that's the ha, right? And of course, what's this one right here? ba, right? Right?
Okay.
Right. And that's good, because to read the Hebrew, you gotta understand what you're looking at, right? To read the Hebrew, you have to understand it. So, you did a wa before and the za, right?
Okay.
And, write me, what's another look like that? Look like a ka, give me a ka, the ancient Hebrew. Yeah, not the Assyrian, but the ancient ka. There's two types of kas, right? But do that one that looks like a ladder. There we go. That's a ka. Now right beside it, write the other ka that looks like a. There we go. Young man got it, right? So those are kas up there. You see how they look? It's just for one little stem there, almost you mistake it, would you? Okay, right. That's a ka. And of course, write me a na up there. The na, the sound na. Okay, now you stopped it from being the same size. The rule is always making the same size, right? That's perfect. You just gotta make them the same size. Where's your eraser at? I'll get you an eraser. I'll get you another eraser. There you go. Yeah, you got too much hook on the bottom now, right? Take some of that hook off. What you want to do on a rule, you want to draw that line coming out of that stem straight down. Right, like that. Just perfect right there. Got it?
Okay.
So when you're drawing it, everything that you write in Hebrew is going to be straight up and down, straight up across, and it'll form something like that. And there are times with the exceptions of the za. The za looks like what? Like Officer Shar used to say, a kickstand with a lean down Z with a kickstand.
You said za, right?
Za. No, did I say za? I didn't mean za. I meant ya. Ya. A ya. I didn't mean, yeah, there we go. There we go. I understand that, yeah. So it looks like a Z that's laid down. It's got like a little stand trying to hold it up. That's what that is. That's a ya. And because when we're writing them on the boards, or when you're writing them or any place, you want to make them all about the same size, right? Okay, good. All right, just kind of erase that. We'll go over some a few more sounds that I want to understand. Get into the number system so you can understand that a little bit. Okay. That's important to understand that number system, right?
Okay.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. Where we at now? We'll write a few more. I want you to write like the Shah up there. Show me how you would write the Shah and the ancient and the Assyrian. You know, one on top, one on the bottom down there. Okay. All right. Sloppy. Okay. All right, what do we got here? All right, erase that one on the bottom there because it's too short, right? Let's make it a little bit more like the board. Draw a straight line on the bottom. First thing to do is draw the base. Okay. Now, now draw the lines that you're in a slant going. Yeah, there we go. Now draw a stem on it. All right, now come from the corner and draw it toward that and draw it up and then draw the other one sort of straight up a little bit. Looks more like that, okay? All the bottom on those don't have to be so big. That's what it is, the base. You can make that base a little smaller. And that will be the, what, the shop?
Shop.
Right, yeah, just make it a little bit smaller, a little bit more smaller. There we go. Yeah, now that looks more like a shop. And of course you wanna make them the same height too.
Right.
I mean, I know we're on the board there, you know, it's illustration. You know, right? That makes sense?
Right.
Okay, now write me the raw. Write a raw. I'm just trying to show you how you can write both of them. Yeah, there we go. And make sure you connect it. Make sure everything in there is connected right. There you go. The raw is wide. That's the, there you go. Not so much here. That's better. This almost perfect. That's what you want. I mean, it really looks like this. It really looks like this. Yeah, really, really, really like that. Sort of like that. Sort of, I mean, you know, yeah. Well, it will be recognized.
Well, not a hump, but a curve.
Curve, yeah, it doesn't have a real curve up there, but the illustrations, if you look, it looks more like this one. Sort of not like that. Not so long. Short, wide, and compact. That looks like an R. Because if you don't, you'll have, what else? A car looks just like it, right? You have, that's an interconnected car. Or what else? Did you say a doll? And a doll looks like, I mean, just for the sake of writing it. See that right there? And they almost look alike, don't you? Don't you? So explain the differences is this is a little wider. That one has a hook on the end. And this one just looks like a regular 7 that has a little kind of long 7 extend.
It's more of a right angle.
Right. Boy, that's true. Yeah. They try to make a right angle, but you do something here. One's curved, one has a hook on the end, and one just straight right angle. All that, believe it or not, means something. What that means something is the look of the letter. If you don't do it that way, you're gonna have problems, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, good. All right, erase those. We'll write let's see. I want you to write a CHAAZAQ up there and a what else? And write a PA. PA. Straight, yeah, there we go. That's a CHAAZAQ. Okay, let's see. Look over there and see if that's perfect. That right? Yeah, that's it. That's it. That looks right to me. Right? Yeah, there we go. Well, let me see. Did you erase that? Yeah. I'd buy that. All right. Now, if you write them in Assyrian on the bottom of there, to CHAAZAQ. And remember, they all have, a reason for writing them. Yeah. I know you, yeah, there you go. Yeah. And of course, I would do it like this. I would just say like this. Like that, right?
Yeah.
Then I come up here and then like this. Something like that. Should be straight. Yeah. Like that. Something like that, right? Ain't exactly right. I've drawn them better than that. Go ahead, do it at what you're doing is making look at the picture. It really here. Yeah, well, here. Really, if you want to do the CHAAZAQ right there in ancient, you want to do like this. You want to draw your base, right? Then you want to come up, right? Come up like that, right? Then you want to, right? Just like that. Then you want to come to about where that stem is. Then you want to sort of like that, right? Yeah, I know. But, you know, you're trying to make it look like what you see on the board. Now, I recognize all those as CHAAZAQ. I'm just trying to make it perfect as I can, right? All right, go ahead. Nah, you gotta do it again. Just do a qua, and then we'll move on to some numbers here. Yeah, do the qua. Yeah, and all that. Yeah, that's good. That's perfect. I like that. Yeah. And of course, all I did was just draw. And just remember, when you get used to doing them, you'll do stuff like this. See who it is. See who it is. Who's that?
Young man, go on.
All right, let him in. Always ask. Just lock it for a second. Checking out the people there from the class. Everybody be sure to thought. All right? Yeah. Take a seat over there, young man. All right, watch your chords there now. All right? There we go. Grab your, yeah, you can sit right there. There you go. Make sure you lock that door back.
Okay.
All right, good. And of course, on the qua here, and of course we got a qua that looks like this, like that, like that. The young man coming here, Declan Carson, right?
Yes.
Taking his notes, got his dressed in black, all black. That's what we're saying here, man. You come to class, man, it's raining, storming out there. This brother coming out here in the rain. He's reminding me of when I used to come up in here. And they come out here in the rain, man. Dequan, both of these Quans up in here, man. Two Dequan Carson and Dequan Pierce, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And we having fun in class drawing. We're gonna do a few more, then we're gonna go over the number system. Just trying to get people. I'm kind of abbreviating the class in a sense, not necessarily connected with time, but just connected with of understanding. Of understanding. There you go. Of understanding sounds. People have to understand the sounds. You know, you have to understand that each Hebrew picture makes a sound. And of course, we're going over them, how to write them, because once you understand how to write them, then you'll be able to recognize them. That makes sense? All right? To understand them and to recognize them, how you do this. Because when I first started doing this, the first thing I would do is like this. I wouldn't even think about it. I mean, you know, well, not quite like that. I'm kind of at an angle here, I guess, like that. Like that, okay? I wouldn't even, and of course, that's accepted. That looks just like the draw, like the picture. I mean, you know, it's close enough. Everybody knows that's a CHAAZAQ. But we go by that chart there, the ancient, and this is the ancient Hebrew. Of course, if you write a CHAAZAQ up here, he has it illustrated. Young man Quan has it illustrated right
I
there.
just got the.
Yeah, always raise your hand. Go ahead, raise your hand.
I got the printing one
Right.
at the house. I just ain't got the handwritten.
Oh, don't worry about handwritten. I mean, that's just what we're doing now, handwritten.
Yeah.
But what we're trying to do is make sure that we draw. You know, this is the official Lashawan Qadash chart here. We're just trying to make sure what we write here, to illustrate in the ancient, as well as the Assyrian. You know?
It's the concept.
Yeah, that's all we're trying to do. And you think you know the chart? Give me an eraser. Get you another eraser.
I'm still learning. I try to study as much as I can, and I don't.
You know, and I'll tell people, the best way to understand how this chart works is to implement it by writing it. The water. Is to write it, to write this chart, to write it here in Isupk. You know, that's what we're doing right now. We're writing it. It does me no good to sit up here and illustrate it for you. You have to write it. And then it would make an indelible thought in your brain. Say, oh, okay. Because I used to write this like 10, 20 times a day. A lot of people say, well, you did it? Yeah. So I knew that chart by heart. Now, how many characters are there?
22.
How many?
22.
22. 22 into what?
Paleo.
Well, instead of saying paleo, the general actually wants to use ancient, right? Paleo just means the old, right? Or the ancient. And then how many of them is Syrian?
27.
But there's 22 plus what?
5 in the characters.
Equals
27.
27.
I got
Yeah. And you can see, yeah, there you go. Make sure you keep that in your notes. And I would suggest when you're in class, you know, take notes, of course, and when you get away from here, sit down and take, if it ain't but 5 or 10 minutes in a day, and do what? Write that chart out. Write the chart that you see out. That's what I used to do, man. I used to go around doing this. Ah, ba, ga, da. You know what I'm saying? Not even looking at the chart. And then it is ha, wa, za. Okay? Then we have what? Ka?
Ka.
Yeah, ka. CHAAZAQ. Then ta, right?
Ta.
Ta.
Yeah.
Then a ya, right?
Ka.
Then a ya is like this, right?
Ka.
Ya, ka, la. What? La?
Ah.
Ya.
Yeah. La.
Ka. Ha. Abagada hawazaka ta ya ka. Right? Ta.
Yeah. Ka. La.
What the hell am I doing? Abagada hawazaka. Salaki. I used to do that all the time. Right? Ta ya ka. See them two cars get you mixed up if you ain't paying attention, right?
Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention.
There are two cars. One is a CH, you don't know them? Am I right?
Ka.
One is a CHAA and the other one is a what?
Ka.
Big difference.
Okay.
Okay? Big difference. If I spell the word CHAAZAQ, my name, CHAA. But if I spell the word what's the word start with ka? Katim. Kittim. Is it kittim? Kittim. Yeah, kittim would be, is that right? Katam. Anyway, that's, you would spell it with a K, like Greece, that's what it is. Okay? And so we use CHAAZAQ, and then it's ta ya, ka, then you have la, right?
Ka.
Then you have what, ma?
Ma. Na.
Huh?
La. Ma.
La, ma, na,
Na. Sa.
sa, right? And the sa is gonna look like, if I'm not mistaken, like that.
3 lines.
Okay? I'm trying not to look at the chart. La, ma, na, sa, right?
Ka.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Ah, then you have pa, taza, right?
Qua.
Then you have qua, ra, right? Then you have what? Sha. Then you have tha. So I didn't even look at the chart. I've got stumped right there with the two cars. I used to do that all the time. But the point is, that's from memory. Okay, and of course the Assyrian is the same way. You want to do the Assyrian the same way, same exact way. You want to put a memory on these. And coming to class helps you what, like young man Quan and Daquan, it helps you in understanding of all these things mean something. When you spell it out, the sounds, it helps you. But what really helps you is when you're sitting at home, going over that chart and then coming to class and implement it on the board. You know, that helps you. If you can't come to class, I understand. But going over that chart on a little notebook like you got, don't lose your notebook. That's that Lashawan Qadash is just as important as any precept that you'll write to. It's part of our language, you know, it's part of it. You know, it's part of it. A lot of people don't realize it. A lot of people don't want to get into the Lashawan Qadash, but they don't understand. That's where our words come from. If you understand words and the ancient and the Assyrian, then you'll be able to understand and read the Tanakh. If you read the Tanakh, you'll understand what things mean. Then, when the general breaks down precepts, you say, oh yeah, that's what that word means. Why? Because it all started in class right here. It all started by paying attention to what's going on in class, right? Right. Now, like I said, I reiterate, both of y'all brothers come to class. Okay, what about the, because we're going over this a little bit. What about the number system? We'll go over that a little bit here. How you say one in Hebrew? Anybody? Well, right, make sure you take notes right here. Remember? Tell me when it comes to your brain.
What, AA?
Right, you know it had to be an AA, right? Akkad. Right? That's the number one. Take notes on that. Yeah, always take notes if you have a need there. That's saying the number one, right? We ain't saying first, we're saying one. That makes sense? What about two?
Let's start with Ba.
Say it again.
Let's start with Ba. No, Ba.
Starts with the S. Sounds familiar?
Shakad.
So what?
Shakad.
You close.
Shabbat.
Raise your hand. What is it?
Shabbat.
Shabbat.
Shabbat. Oh.
You were saying Shabbat because it means, what is Shabbat?
Tribe.
Wait. 7. Is that 7? Is that right? I said it right? Sorry, that's 7. Oops.
Okay, yeah.
How about this? There we go. Slocky about that. A little rusty. You know, why don't we need to go with number system? Shanya, right? So write this down. What's the next one? Sean, right? Right?
God.
I'm sorry, wait a minute. Slocky. Shalash. Right? Write those down and we'll get y'all to do those in Hebrew here in a second. Okay? Hebrew sounds, man. Okay, those are the first 3. numbers in our numbering system. Akkad, Shinya, Shalash, right? That's right. I'll write these down. Then you're going to have what? By. That's 4. Arabai. Right? Y'all act like y'all ain't never seen this before. 5. Then we'll have Ka. Mash. Okay, I'll take your time, write that down. Good? Okay. Okay. What is that? Shashai? Shasha? Shasha? That's Shasha? Is that spelled right? Yeah, that's right. Here's the one you were talking about. Shabai, right?
Concert.
That comes from a word like Sabbath or Shabbat. Or that's where we get that word from. Shabai means complete, you know, that's complete. Complete. Shabai. That's 7, right? So what we got so far? Akkad, now this is a number system. And write these down and learn these by heart, because if you can spell and memorize these, you can count up to 100. You count up to 100, you count up to 1,000. Right? Okay. So what we got? Akkad, y'all pronounce these. What you got?
Akkad, Shinya, Shalash, Arabai, Shamash. Oh, come on.
Kamash. Like all
I'm going
these.
to talk about Chumash.
Always raise your hand. All these are up there, right? Kamash, right? So that's what you see. Ka. Then you see ma. Then you see sha, right? You see it. You can see. You see these. See that sha? See the ah? See the ka here? You see the da? See, we drop the a. We don't need it. We don't need a akara. Because why the cod, what sound, how do we make that sound? Why does that sound cod?
Because it's bended.
Dependent connectors made that sound, didn't it?
Okay.
That's what you want. See, and that's what we're doing in class. We're understanding what sounds are and how they come about, right? That's why I'm doing the class, because you guys are young men, and we want to understand. Even the troopers, and there are people you'd be surprised. Akkad, Shaniya, Shalash, Arabai, Kamash, Shasha, Shabai, right? That's 7. So what else we got? What's the next one? I'm going to write it up here. 8 is what? It's a word called, get up, it's so long. It's the longest one we got here. So we say, Sha, Ma, Wa, Na. Shama wa na, right? That's 8, right? Shama wa na, right? Shai, right? Right? And then Isha Ra. Write those down, put them in your notes. 'Cause I don't want to have to go over that again. Next time you guys come to class, or even online or class, either one, check in. Make sure you always check in, even if you don't physically come to class, you know. And let me know, if I ask you about these, y'all supposed to let me know how to count in Hebrew, right?
Okay.
So what we got? Yeah. Akkad, Shanya, Shalash, Arabai, Kamash, Shabai, Shamawana, the Shai, and Ishara. That makes sense? Y'all got that?
Kind of.
All right. So let's guess for a second. Y'all remember being in school? We talked about this before. Like, if I was going, you count up to 10, right? What about 11? Talk to me, man. What about 11? So what's 11? 11 ain't nothing but what? 1 plus 10, right?
Okay.
Right? So let's work on it. Go ahead.
What, a shower? Should like.
Think about it for a second. Go ahead.
Do you keep the Akai in it?
Huh?
Do you keep the Akai in it?
I'll let you think about it for a second. Yeah. Except for, I don't think, well, here. Because let me move. Yeah, do 12 when I get back with you on 11, because I don't want to, let me make sure I got that one right. I'd rather have something looked up here. Yeah. Because it does something different here. It's locking. Okay, there it is right there. Just want to make sure. Yeah. So, so when you look into the Tanakh, it's a little different. It's lucky. But anyway, what if I was to try to make 11? What would I do? Raise your hand. If I want to make, in Hebrew, 1 plus 10. So how do I write 1 plus 10? Well, how do I write 1 and 10 together? Go ahead.
I can't.
Huh?
What's your I'm trying to think. What is it? I sharp?
Say it again.
I sharp? I think I'm saying it wrong.
Let me give you some room here. So just do this. Let's just do this. Let's just spell it like it is. I mean, that's right. Right? That makes sense?
So basically, we just put them together.
That is together. And then we write 12. What's 12? Does this make any sense to you? Go ahead.
So basically, you just putting the. Alright, so you just putting the 1 and Ashara is just 10. Okay, I get it.
And so all of them gonna have the base. Remember when you learned in math in school, it's the base system of 10?
Okay.
That's what that is. Ashara, 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 Ashara. Right?
Okay.
So if I was gonna write 19, what would I do?
19.
Raise your hand.
Dasha and Akkad.
Shah
Dasha
and what?
and Akkad.
Why would you say a cod?
Oh.
Ashara. Ashara.
Ashara.
Ashara.
You had you were
Oh yeah, I'm tripping.
you were probably
It's a lot.
you probably doing something like
Yeah, I'm tripping.
yeah, you were looking at trying to do a one.
Yeah.
It's simpler than that. This is all this is what? 9
9,
plus 10 is what?
19. It's a lot. I'm gonna think about it too hard.
Alright, now here this is what caps it off. This is what tells the whole story right here in Hebrew, right?
Okay.
Time we got.
828.
Okay. Salakia there. Salakia for the camera adjustment there. Okay, this is what tells the whole story, right? How would you write 20? What would we do? Go ahead.
Ashara.
That's a good way. No, actually, that's what people do. When they and why'd you say that? Because it's 10 plus 10, right? Well, we got an easier way to do that. How do we pluralize something? Go ahead.
Should like what? Put them together?
Well, he said this. That's 10 plus 10, right?
Okay.
But that ain't right. There's an easier way to do that. On this one, all the rest of them are right. By logic, you would think that we could, but we ain't gonna go with reasoning of logic here. We're gonna go with the Isupk way, right? So we're gonna do this. Let's do it the way to pluralize something. I want to have two 20s. So I want to say, right? So how do I pluralize that? I'm going to say 10, right? Never forget that. Asharayam. When you say yam, you're pluralizing. You're pluralizing that whole, whatever's there, you're making it a plural. And so that's the same thing we do when we say 20. We say, right? We say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Then we say 19, the Sha'ashara. Then we say 20. That's a whole nother word. So you do like everybody do Ashara, but that ain't what that you don't have to say 10 and 10, because if you did that, you'll be, how do you say 21? Ashara Akkad? No, all you have to do is just say Asharayam. When you say yam, that is the plural for whatever you put in front of it. It is a possessive adjective plural. It's saying 10, I want you to be pluralized. And so that's all that means. So if I write 21, now anybody could guess what 21 would be? Since we know this, Asharayam, raise your hand. I don't see, go ahead. Go ahead, young man.
Shanya.
What did I say, 21?
Okay.
Why'd you say Shanya? That's 2, that's 22.
Oh, I mean,
Akkad.
Ashariyam, Akkad.
No, just the other way around.
Akkad, Ashariyam.
Right, because Asheram gonna go in the back, because Asherah went in the back.
Okay.
Asherah went at the end of the sentence, you know. So you wanna say Akkad Asheram, right?
Okay.
Now, once you know that, Asherayam, right? Akkad Asheram, right? And you'll see that in the Bible, you'll see it in the Tanakh, that, oh, that's what they're saying, Akkad Asheram. Of course, there's another way to write a 1 in there, but I don't wanna confuse you guys. Especially when we do months, first month, you know. Second month, stuff like that. But we ain't into months now. I'm kinda doing a class where we're going, sort of starting all over so people can see things, right? Okay, so Asheram is 20. So what if I wrote 30? How would I do 30? Somebody tell me. Huh? Well, let's think about it for a second. We already got 20, right? We already got Asheriyam, right? So 30 is what? How do you pluralize? You pluralized 20, and you took 2 10s and said, okay, yum. So if I want to take 30, it represents 3 Asheriyahs, right? So how would you pluralize that? How do you say 3?
Shalash.
And how would you pluralize the Asheriyah?
Shalash.
You say that again?
Shalasham.
Go ahead.
Shalayam.
Y'all both close, but what do you see there? You said shalayim, or what is that word?
This is Shaya.
Just say that word. How you say 3?
Shalashim.
That's it. Okay? Clap it up for both of y'all, right? Say it out loud. Shalashyam. So don't take, when you got these words here, don't change their meaning. Don't even change their sound. What's this class about? So you said shalayim. I don't see no shalayim up there. I see a shalash. So shalash.
Yeah.
So that means 3 if I said Asheriyah started the whole thing, that's 10 2 times. So if I want to write 10 3 times, you got, there's the 3, so you want to pluralize that. Shalas yum. What about 4? What about 40? Yeah, that's it. Say that again. Arabayam. You had it right. By, right? And what is it?
40.
Yum. And then the other one was lash, yum. Okay? And just pay attention. All we're doing is just we're counting from 1 to 10. We're just making things plural. We're putting additions in with it. We're adding things together. Now I'm making it plural. It's like you say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. What am I missing? Why would we change anything? So that's what we're doing here. Asherah, the shy. So how would I say, we'll skip down. Well, let's go ahead and do it. How you say 50?
Kamashiam.
What is it?
Fifth, Kamashiam.
Kamashiam. Right? Yeah, clap it up. Right, write that down. Kamashiam. Y'all write them down. Don't assume. Because once you get 100, now you can count up to 1,000. Count up to 10,000. I think one night in here I counted up to 999,000. Well, I got to get with my higher up officers to find out what a million is, but I'm pretty sure I'll find out. Y'all understand? Okay, so what does yam mean again? That's the point.
Make it plural.
It's plural. And that's for words too, right? Go ahead, raise your hand.
I think also like S. Like
It's like an S,
Yeah.
right? Right.
Just
When you
like,
make, go ahead, slap.
just like but instead of like I said it's like an S, but you don't say it like Ashirayams.
Right.
It's Ashirayam.
Just actually, when you say yam, that is like an S.
Just like saying Akim, not Akims.
Akim,
Akim.
right? Akim, like brothers.
Okay.
Or if I say ak, that's a brother. But if I say akyam, if you say sisters, it's akwaf yan. The plural for women is yan.
Okay.
Plural for men is yam. Anytime you use something in the system of the Hebrew, it's always the manly, but there are feminine words there. So make sure you understand. We're Hebrew. We're men. We're men, and in the Hebrew. So we use the men. We don't even take. Well, you don't take no woman to war. All right, come on, Akwathians. We don't do that. So everything we do is with men. It's okay. So that's what we do here. And ISUPK, you're not gonna get this from fake Hebrew groups. They don't understand this. They tune into our classes. Am I right?
Okay.
Okay. So Arabayim. So how would you say? What did I say? I said Kamasian. What about 60?
Shashayam.
What is it?
Shashayam.
Write it down. Sound right to me. Shashayim, right? Now I wrote them down for you. Get prepared on the classes to come. If you make it to class, I understand that. I won't have you guys write down. I just come out with, okay, how do you say a certain thing, right? Shashayim, right? Asharam Thashah. Okay, so what did I say? What about 7? How do you say 70?
Shabayam.
Shabayim. Yeah, write that down. And why is that true? Because Shabai is what?
7.
And you want to pluralize that 7. What set the pace? 20, didn't it?
Okay.
When I said yam for that, then you don't after that everything yam after that until you get to 100. Everything yam would be plural. Because if I wanted to say 71, how would I say that?
71. Akkad.
Right?
Yeah.
Clap it up for that brother right there. Akkad what?
Shabayam.
Akkad Shabayim.
Shabayam.
Yeah, Shabayim. Either way, that's exactly right. All right, good. All right, what about 80?
Shabawan.
What is it?
Shamawanayam.
Shamawanayim. Perfect, that's perfect. All right, and if I wanted to say 83, how would I say that?
83.
Mm-hmm. And remember, go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Shalas. Shamawanayam.
Copy up for that, brother. Yeah, it's gonna be, and then Shamawana is a hard one to say, but it's just that easy. Don't make it no harder than what you said. That's the reason why I broke the Hebrew sounds down, Because once people understand, you're starting to understand the connection of how sounds are related to that chart. You got to be able to pronounce that chart, and that's all we're doing here is breaking is understanding what sounds are, and of course I'm giving you the understanding what the words are in the number system in this case, and the understanding is this is how you know all these other nations copied off of us, man, because look at what they got. Look, they go to the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. That's our system. Where you think yum is. That's us. I sure am. I want to say 24. How would I say 24? Huh?
Shanya.
24. Always put the plural last, of course.
Yes, Shanya Ashariam.
That's 22.
You said 24?
24.
Oh. Aruba Ashariam.
Right, clever. Exactly. That's all I'm trying to say. It's just that easy. Don't make it no harder. All right. What I say, 90? How you say 90? Go ahead, young man.
The
Shayam, exactly right. And all right, here's one. What time is it? See, let's see. I want to break. I know. Yeah, we're getting close. I just wanted to do that because I want you guys to understand sounds. Understand the sounds is just as easy as making them, and of course, a lot. You got to be able to sound stuff out. That's why we took the time to write down what you would call, some people call the alphabet. We write them what? What do they call? But that's what the world called them. See, we would, in Deuteronomy 28, I think it's 43 or something like that, I can't remember. We would get it, let me get that. We would come to America here and being a language, be in America here in a language that we don't even understand. You know, this thing, we were speaking Hebrew, and they taught us what? English, right? Always raise your hand, right? So what is it? Deuteronomy, let me see. I think it's, let me see. Show you how we could, show you what language is about, man. Show you what the Lord, show you what the Most High say. You know? You know, how the curses are implemented upon us, man, and that we will get into be into a place serving gods of wood and stone, man, and have and be cursed with a language that we don't even understand. We have to learn this language all over again, man. You know, and it's awful. You know. So let's see. Where's that at here? That's the reason why you have to. Okay, here it is, right here. Where's that at here? Where's that at? Deuteronomy. Serbia, Power, let's see. Slovakia here. Into a language that we don't even understand, man. That we're gonna have to. They're gonna lend to us. We can't even lend to them. That means we don't have any power. So they stole everything from us. Used our labor, man. You know, destroyed us as a nation, man. Right? That's what they did, you know, destroyed us, man. And so that's why, see, in other words, why I get this. How do we say, what is it? 99.
99.
Yeah.
Shy.
Go ahead. Huh?
The shy.
Look at that word again. What does it say?
99.
Yeah, what'd you say? No, you had it right. Now, the Shayan, right? Clap it up for our brother, right? Yeah, because that's, now you're getting the point, right?
Okay.
Yeah, right, and if you want to write, now what about, we're gonna get to the last, what 100? Would I say 10 times 10? Now that's what it is, but how would you say 100? Because you don't know this one. But write the word ma'ah, M-A-A-H. Ma'ah, that's 100. It means 100. Okay? Write that down. And then now you can count up to 100. And if you can count up to 100, then you'll begin to understand how to do almost any word, any not word, but any number, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's important. See, right? That's and the Bible says, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. That's what we were bombarded with, man. We were sitting up there doing our thing, and then they put us on slave ships, man. And next thing you know, we knew this system. We knew how to count. We were educated. That makes sense? We were educated people. We just didn't understand their language. Right? I mean, of course, go ahead. Slock it.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I thought we was ignorant because the way we used to talk.
Right.
Because that's why they called us, I'm
Right.
assuming that's why they called us barbarians, because the way we talked, I by God die.
Right.
Why I die.
Yeah. They called us, clap it up for the brother. Exactly right. They thought, and actually, really, the Hebrews, we're the smartest people, Hebrew, so we speak Hebrew. Our language is first. The Israelites are the smartest people in the world, man. That's what we are. And here's Deuteronomy 28:49 said, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee far from the end of the earth, as swift as an eagle. That's where? What's the eagle? America, right?
America.
That's these Edomites, these white Edomites up in here, right? A nation whose what? Tongue. What's a tongue? Is that what they speak in churches? Yeah. So what's a tongue? We're speaking a tongue right now, Hebrew, right? We're speaking a tongue, English, right? That's nothing but a tongue, right? But the Bible says that a nation whose tongue or their English that thou shalt not understand. In other words, they do stuff like, I might. In Hebrew, got no words like might. The Bible says, let your conversation be what? Yea or nay. You ain't got no words about, I might do this tomorrow. Make up your mind. Say what you mean and mean what you say. So that's the reason why when you look at the slave owner saying, they taught us stuff that made us ignorant, man. Instead of, go ahead. Instead of us making us wise, we became. I mean, listen. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just repeating, you became ignorant.
Right. Well, we became ignorant because we already knew our number system. We already knew how to count. We already knew how. What did they call it? We built pyramids in the wicked Egypt. Now this is the second Egypt, right? The Bible says this will happen all over again, man. And that's what we are. A nation whose countenance, a nation, fierce countenance which shall not regard the person of old and show favor to the young. And then also, the Lord shall bring a nation against the far. Man, from the end of the earth as swift as the eagle. A nation whose tongue, that's what does tongue mean? What does that say right there?
Language.
And what does that word say?
Holy tongue.
What does it say? Read it.
Lashawan, Qadash.
Lashawan, what does Lashawan mean?
Language.
It's right there.
Oh, yeah. Holy tongue.
But what does Lashawan mean? Language.
Oh.
And what does holy mean?
Qadash.
Qadash. You put the two together, what do you have?
Lashawan,
Qadash.
And what do they mean? What's under it, parentheses?
Holy tongue.
Holy tongue, right? Yeah, no, we don't have to guess anything. If you got an answer, we got it all right here. Holy tongue, right? And that's what it means. Holy tongue, Lashawan Qadash. Lashawan language. That's the Bible said. We wouldn't understand that language. But see, that don't make us ignorant because we don't understand that language. You know, like your brother said, we go over there speaking Abba Gada CHAAZAQ. Look at it. No. Speak the King's English. You know, this is how they did us, man. But the Bible says that we would be put in a place where we'd have to learn their language. But you see, the Most High gave us the Hebrew, right? The original Hebrew, the ancient Hebrew, right? And of course, when we were in captivity, the Syrian Hebrew, right? So now we don't learn another language called English, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So what time we got? We're gonna get ready to end class.
8 more minutes. 8:52.
8:52. Right. Enough time to read the Hebrew language, right? And it's good that we read the language, man. We understand the number system here. We understand what makes all that happen, right? Glad to have two young men to come to class. Both of them named Daquan. Y'all keep coming to class. Y'all make sure y'all sign in. And of course, I'll remember, make sure you have it when you sign in and put your name on the chart. You know, people, we know you guys up and coming young men are going to be troopers, right? And so we're going to make sure that, we're going to make sure you understand and have some reading and understanding. Also, sure, you want to read the announcement? Yeah, we want to have. We want to make sure. Make sure you guys understand that when you come to class, man. Like these young troopers have, we have Officer Asha and Officer Sharp in class. John, we're full house tonight, right? So let's clap it up for Hebrew class. Let's clap it up for that. Now we're going to finish off with that Officer Sharp. Read our Hebrew now. Appreciate that, Officer.
Yeah, powerful priest and prophet, a powerful man. You know what I'm saying? We're in the Isupk, start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. A rule for a new brother or sister. When a brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They had to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to that brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and the sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and the sister will get married, will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You find it in the book of Numbers 18:21, book of Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. It means a tenth in Hebrew, ma'ashra. Tenth of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the church department or the teacher. Priest funds, it's a free will offering, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. We had the high holy day that's coming up. Is the Feast of Dedication?
Yeah, September, right?
September. Yeah, it's Memorial of the Blowing of the Trumpets. The first day of the 7th month, September 25th. That's on a Sunday, 2022.
Right.
You can read about that in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24, all the way through 25.
Right.
Check the bulletin board for the Akim and Akwatin. And if anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black. That means black boots, shirt, pants, and headbands. And with that, I'm in Israel, Amaji. Amaji Shabbat, Amaji, Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat. Courtesy salute to the sisters. We're going to start a little bit to the sisters.
Right.
I'm in Israel, Amaji, Amaji Shabbat, Amaji, Barak, Yahweh Shema, Allah Hashem, Yahweh Shai. With that, that's dismissed.
Clap it up for that.